Alright, what's good y'all? Soul here, and welcome back to my story mode. So, at the time of this recording, it's been about 2 or so days since the Pokemon Day Presents for 2024 was announced. It's a little hard to put a gauge on it because they randomly dropped it on Twitter at midnight, or something like that. And I remember just sitting there on my phone and seeing it and be like, oh, okay, cool, great, awesome. So for anybody that's been around here for long enough, you pretty much already know what I'm gonna say. I've done a video just like this 2 times beforehand for the last couple Pokemon Presents. Also, I find it funny that in the next video that's going to be coming up after this one, I recorded that before we got the Pokemon Presents Day announcement, but after we got the Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase announcement. So I was a little worried that we might actually get a little bit of Pokemon news that they would end up following up on Pokemon Day, but that wasn't the case at all. As a matter of fact, I'm almost positive that they announced a Pokemon Presents specifically because people might have thought that they were going to be presenting something at the Partner Showcase, because technically, Pokemon is a partner of Nintendo. But hey, you know what, maybe I'm wrong. It doesn't really make a difference anyway, because we're getting a Pokemon Day Presents. So, why don't we go ahead and focus on that. So, to kick things off, why don't we go ahead and start predicting the more mundane stuff. The stuff that we all know is going to be coming up first. Obviously, just like always, the TCG comes first. They're going to be announcing all the events, all of the new cards and packs and stuff like that that might possibly be coming, maybe some new events and stuff like that, maybe some new equipment that y'all could use and stuff. I don't know anything about the TCG. I've never participated in the TCG, and trying to collect Pokemon cards is terrifying. I'm probably not going to try and get into that because that is an expensive hobby, and I'm good. Unlike these other YouTubers that do that kind of stuff, I don't get tax returns on that, so I'm good. I'm chilling. Y'all have fun. After all of those announcements and all that information, they're probably going to start talking about Pokemon Go next, and it's most likely that we're probably going to be getting a couple of newcomers from Generation 9 available in Pokemon Go. Namely, I really hope we get Annihilate, because they had a whole Mankey event recently, and they just kind of did nothing with that. So unless I completely missed an Annihilate event or something like that, there's no reason as to why that Pokemon is not available in Pokemon Go yet. Please make Annihilate available, because once I get my hands on him, I might be able to go crazy with some with some raids and stuff like that. I love Annihilate. Please make him good in Pokemon Go. Doesn't really matter. I don't really play it that often anyway. It's just something that I thought about. And because, you know, we're still on Generation 9, and we're going to be on Generation 9 most likely for the foreseeable future. So, yeah, give me Annihilate. Yeah, maybe some other Pokemon too. We'll talk more about that later. But for now, yeah, they're most likely going to give us some Pokemon Go information, and it's probably going to be some fun event that's going to grab like 5 or 10 people to play for a solid month straight. Who knows? After that, we're most likely going to go ahead and move right into the other live service games. I don't know what order that they're going to give us the information in. I don't think it really matters, because they're going to talk about all of them like they always do. As far as Pokemon Masters EX goes, they're probably going to announce Carmine and Kieran as sync pairs, because those are the big new shiny characters that people love right now, and, you know, I wouldn't blame them, and I wouldn't be shocked, because I love those characters. Those are the absolute goats of the DLC, so I would absolutely look forward to seeing them as sync pairs. Probably no idea what Pokemon they're going to get as their sync pair things. I don't know. I couldn't even begin to guess. They have entire teams. It would be really funny if Carmine got Mightyena of all things, because Mightyena is ass, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, those are most likely the sync pairs that we're going to get, so we'll see what happens. And of course, they're going to be absolutely busted, because that's kind of how gachas work. I don't know if you've played any gacha in the last couple of years, but every time they introduce a new character that they want you to roll for, they're obviously going to make it worth it. So they're going to make those characters the strongest in the game until the next sync pair or the next character comes out, and that pair is the best in the game, because that's always how it's going to work. So, you know, it's going to be kind of a timely thing. They're going to be the greatest in the game until something else walks along, and then they get nerfed, and then they end up somewhere near the bottom of the tier list. Maybe higher, I don't know. They could be really good. I don't play enough Pokemon Masters EX. Do you guys still play that? Let me know, anybody that is like heavily invested in that. Tell me what you guys think about that game right now. Is it still going crazy? Is it still going strong? Is it worth like hopping back into? I'm curious, because I've fallen off so long ago, I don't even know. But either way, that's my guess on that. Next to that, of course, we're most likely going to see something for Pokemon Unite, probably a couple new character introductions. 1 or 2 characters will probably be coming out soon. One might get shadow dropped during the Pokemon Presents, and then the other couple will be dropped throughout the year, or at least like the course of the first half of the year. I don't know how long it takes for characters to come out in Pokemon Unite, but I do know that they come out relatively fast, to my understanding. So we'll probably see those characters within the game within the next couple of months. We'll probably be getting some really cool characters. The only characters that would probably get me to come back truly would be Ceruledge and Armorogue, because those Pokemon are so freaking cool. All right, if I got my hands on Ceruledge, but they could do like a double thing, and they could absolutely, oh man, you know what? That's all I care about. If they introduce Armorogue and Ceruledge, that's all I care about. So yeah, we'll probably see something like that for Pokemon Unite. I know that last year there was like a huge debacle with the whole Mewtwo situation when he was introduced as a playable character, but there was like something that you had to like unlock for him or something like that, or you had to go through an entire board to unlock him, and it would have taken ages unless you just bought his license to use him. So that's definitely something. Never cared, was never planning on giving Tencent any of my money because they don't deserve it, but you know, I don't know, hopefully nothing like that happens again, and Ceruledge and Armorogue are playable characters because that's all I care about. But, you know, hopefully they introduce some other cool Pokemon to utilize in Pokemon Unite. Pokemon Cafe Remix will have a thing. I don't know what that thing will be. I don't really care what that thing will be. I don't know who plays this game. If you do, hopefully it's something really good and something that you're excited about. I can't imagine what they wouldn't be able to do. Maybe they'll introduce, like, you know, some Pokemon from, like an active Pokemon from Pokemon Concierge or something like that, because Pokemon Cafe Remix is meant to be really cozy, so I could imagine seeing like the 3 little monkeys, the 5th gen monkeys, available for partners to work at the cafe or something like that, you know? I don't know. It's up in the air, you know what I'm saying? Is Psyduck in the game? I don't know. I just... Pokemon Cafe Remix is a thing that exists that I have not touched since it came out, when it was still Pokemon Cafe Mix. Now it's Remix because it's everywhere. I have not touched that game in forever. I don't care to. But, you know, hopefully it's something at least somewhat remotely fun. And naturally, of course, when it comes to the apps, we have to acknowledge that Pokemon Sleep will have a thing that will put me to sleep. I'm not playing Pokemon Sleep. Who's playing Pokemon Sleep? Wasn't there a whole thing where that game was super dangerous? I don't know who's playing Pokemon Sleep, but... you know, the 5 people that are playing it, you know, I hope it's something cool. I hope it's something really fun. I hope it's easier to collect shinies, and I hope that you can utilize it with Pokemon Go. No, I'm sorry, not Pokemon Go, Pokemon Home. That's a thing, right? I don't know. But hopefully it is a cool update that makes it worth playing or sleeping next to, I guess. I'm never going near that game. Ever. Moving on to more major stuff, they're most likely going to be talking a lot about Pokemon Horizons, since that is going to be coming to us on March 7th, which at the time of this recording is not very far away at all, which is like, it's like 2 weeks away from now. I really would not be shocked if they actually had plans to do some kind of crossovers with Pokemon Horizons in some of their live service games, whether that be Pokemon Cafe Remix, whether that be Pokemon Unite. I highly doubt that. Probably Pokemon Go. I could absolutely see them doing some kind of sync pairs with Liko and Roy. I hope I got their names right, because I don't remember. I'm sure I'll remember their names when I actually watch the anime. That's just kind of how I work. But I'm sure that they'll have something to really put those two in our faces to really help advertise the anime, because it is going directly to Netflix as opposed to being on like a live television situation like they usually did with the previous anime. So I am really looking forward to that anime. I've heard mixed things about it, but I'm going to be watching it regardless and doing a series on it on this channel. So, you know, I will be there for sure. Now, a lot of you guys know that I am a pretty impatient person when it comes to certain things, especially when it comes to storytelling. I really need to know just what happens as soon as possible, which means preferably I would love it if they were to just drop all 25 episodes of the first season on Netflix. However, they're probably not going to do that in one go, considering a couple of factors. Netflix has recently adopted the whole weekly release schedule situation because they've been doing that for One Piece. They did it with this anime called Blue Period. And so, you know, with a couple of animes, they've been doing this weekly release situation. And so it's very possible that we might not see all of them in one go. We might get them on a weekly basis to help them, you know, get time to finish the dub as it's airing or something like that. It is very possible because we know how Pokemon is. So we'll see what happens with that. But another possibility is that they could drop half of the series in one go and then drop the rest of the first season a couple of months down the line or something like that. Because, you know, the first season is 25 entire episodes. That is a lot to drop in one go, in one day for Netflix. That would be absolutely insane. I would not be shocked if they wanted to hold us off on everything and, you know, keep us hooked on the anime so that we could get it later down the line so that we watch everything when that drops or something like that. I would not be shocked. And me personally, I would at least prefer it if they did it that way as opposed to weekly, because weekly would just make me irritated. So hopefully they do it that way at the very least, or if they drop all 25 episodes in one go, great, awesome. That's probably going to be my entire day. 100%. One way or another though, you guys will see my thoughts on it, whether it be one massive review of the entire first season, or if I do weekly reviews of each episode or something like that. We'll see how things play out. Moving along here, I've thought about this a lot, and I don't think that it's actually impossible that they did hire another studio to start working on another miniseries, especially for Generation 9. At this point in time, Pokemon Paldean Winds ended like a couple of months ago, and I'm pretty sure that it's the shortest Pokemon miniseries to date. And so, I would not be shocked if they decided to take this route and have multiple studios animating little things here and there so that they always have something on one half of the year, maybe another at the other half of the year or something like that. I wouldn't be shocked if they took this approach to have like 4-episode miniseries for a lot of different things, because they kind of did the same thing with Pokemon Legends when they did Hisuian Snow. So with that thought in mind, I don't think that it's impossible for them to have hired another animation studio to make another miniseries to have us going for the, you know, first half of this year or something like that to release within the next couple of months. Could not even begin to guess what studio they got, because I doubt that it's WIT, I doubt that it's Studio Perio, considering the fact that they're working with McDonald's right now for whatever reason. Couldn't tell you. It could be Mappa. It very well could be Mappa, which would be absolutely insane and probably the most criminal matchup I could ever imagine. And yet, if it is Studio Mappa, I'm telling you right now, we're probably going to be getting the best animated Pokemon series of all time, respectfully. Mappa might clear it. I'm not even kidding you, bro. But that's neither here nor there. We'll see what happens when that drops, if we get that at all. And finally, as far as Pokemon animations go, it's very likely that they'll probably talk a little bit about Pokemon Concierge, considering the fact that they did announce a couple of days ago that we are going to be getting more episodes for Pokemon Concierge. We only got about 4 episodes dropped on Netflix, and so there's a very good possibility that they may give us like a general window as to when to expect the next couple episodes of Pokemon Concierge. I'm sure some of the artists and talent involved will probably be giving like a little thank you, because Pokemon Concierge probably did a lot better than I expected. Like, I did not expect to enjoy it as much as I did. It was a very cute series. It touched upon a lot of different things that you wouldn't think about in the Pokemon universe, and I love that show. It's a comfort show now, and I can't wait for more episodes. Doesn't matter how many there are, I'm there 1000%. Moving on to potential spin-offs and ports, I'm sure that they will have something for NSO, but whatever it is, it's probably not going to be what we expect. It's probably going to be something a little more on the minute side, like an old Pokemon Rumble game or something like that. I don't see them putting on like Pokemon Rangers or anything like that, because logistically that game has no way to work on the Nintendo Switch, and I don't see them putting any of the first 3 generations on the Nintendo Switch online situation, because they just could have done that by now. Like, we're at the end of its life cycle. They could, it's very possible, but I doubt it, because I feel like they're gatekeeping that for some weird specific reason that they haven't told us yet. So we'll play it by ear, but whatever they've got, it's probably not going to be something major. It's probably going to be something very minute. Maybe a couple people will play it. We'll see what happens. Now, as far as the elephant in the room goes, a lot of people for years have been asking for Pokemon Colosseum and XD Gale of Darkness to be ported over to the Switch in one way or another. And knowing Pokemon, right, there's no way that they would go out of their way to make like actual genuine ports for Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness or Colosseum. Those games are too old. There's not any way in hell they're gonna take a step that far back for games that probably wouldn't sell as well as a new mainline game or something along those lines, especially for spin-off games. This is going to sound a little dramatic, but I would say that it's probably for the best to give up hope of seeing it on the Nintendo Switch. However, it is very likely that we'll be getting a new console either later this year or early next year from Nintendo, and that's most likely where they're going to introduce GameCube emulators for their new console with NSO. And if they were to do that, I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness and Pokemon Colosseum would be available as flagship emulators on that new console. Because, let's be real, there's no way they're gonna get rid of NSO when it just started to do so well with the Nintendo Switch. They're not gonna do that. And quite honestly, if they introduce a GameCube emulator for the Switch or whatever comes next, I'm there. I know for a fact they're probably going to drop XD Gale of Darkness and Colosseum. I know for a fact, though, that they're probably also going to drop Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. Just a hunch, but I will be there. For sure. And then, of course, as far as like a genuine built from the ground up spin-off, I'm not going to get my hopes up, especially because after the debacle that was Detective Pikachu 2, again, I don't really see them going out of their way to develop from the ground up spin-offs when they could just focus on live service stuff and making their money that way. So if it happens, awesome, amazing, great. I would love to see official ports of Poke Park 1 and 2, even in a bundle if you want to do it that way to justify a couple like 40, 50 bucks. I don't care. I love those games so much. If I could just have a way to have them, I would be very happy as a camper. I'm telling you right now. If they were to drop an actual remake that we weren't expecting, I would be the least shocked if they gave us a remake for Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky DX, much like they gave us like 3 or so years ago now with the original Red Rescue Team DX. I think that it's valid to say that it's been more than enough time for a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon remake, and also, with Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, I think in terms of popularity, it's probably the one thing that actually kind of comes close to the main series. So yeah, I could absolutely see them doing at least that, but we'll play it by ear. I'm not going to get my hopes up, but if it happens, great. And naturally, of course, we have to finally talk about what game we're going to be receiving for the holiday season of 2024. And that game is most likely going to be Pokemon Let's Go Johto, or Celebi, or whatever that is. I've had an entire video dedicated to this very discussion. I've talked about it a couple of times in previous videos, and in the next video, we're going to have a sole video dedicated to that possibility, but I just can't see anything else. I don't think anything else is possible for them right now. Also, something that I just thought about right now, think about it. Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu and Eevee were the first mainline Pokemon games to end up on the Nintendo Switch. So with that in mind, it simply makes way too much sense for them to end the Switch's life cycle with Pokemon Let's Go Johto. It's a full circle. There's no way in hell they don't do this. Now, I could absolutely be completely wrong on this, and they've had something cooking up for a while now that we had absolutely no idea was coming, but frankly, it just makes too much sense. Too much sense. For now, I will reserve any and all opinions because I literally have a video coming up after this one that discusses all of my thoughts and opinions on that very possibility. So, you'll get that when we get to that. Overall, I don't really expect to come out of this next Pokemon Presents any kind of shocked. All of my expectations are super low, and whatever we get is whatever we get, because at the end of the day, they run it, not us. They are not listening to us, they are listening to our wallets. And our wallets, based on Pokemon Scarlet and Violet's success, says that we want more games. So, they're gonna give us more games. So, we'll see what happens, because allegedly they have the manpower to do it. So, I don't know. We'll play it by ear. So that just about does it for this one. I kind of have to get going because I did not anticipate how little time I had before the Presents came out. Even though we all talked about it. But I'm a procrastinator. I knew that the Presents was coming at the end of the month, and yet I waited till the last day to decide to actually go ahead and do this video regardless. But I guess it kind of worked out because with the announcement it confirms that we are actually getting one, and so it doesn't make me look as stupid as I usually do. But either way, that's that. But anyway, tell me everything that you guys are thinking in the comment section below. Do you agree with me? Do you think that all my predictions are going to be on point? Do you think that we're going to get some crazy stuff in the usual sense? Or do you think that I'm actually really wrong? They're actually going to give us something absolutely insane in terms of everything. We're going to get some crazy spin-offs, and the game that we receive this upcoming year is actually going to be absolutely nuts and balls to the wall and not Pokemon Let's Go. Tell me everything that you guys are thinking in the comment section below, because you know for a fact that I am always going to be down there with you guys. But with that, it is skedaddle o'clock. I would like to thank you guys ever so much for watching. I truly do hope you enjoyed. Do me the greatest favor of dropping a like and a comment, and consider subscribing for more content just like this here. And with that, I am gone. So thanks again, hope you enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Do me the greatest favor of taking good ass care, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!